Girls coming out and straight up saying you need to pay me money to go on a date. That was something in the 1950s you would have been shamed for. No one gives a shit. This is how you go viral on TikTok by saying that now. Yeah. There is no incentive for women whatsoever to have any sort of discourse to show any level of like morals. There's none. And by the way, some women choose of their own accord to be moral, and many choose not to. But my point is, when you choose not to show morality, when you sit there and go on TikTok and get millions of views for talking about how much you embarrass men, you get lauded for it. You make money for that. Now, if I did the same thing with women, I would lose my TikTok.
Financial analysis on the cost of a baddie. Actually put these into an Excel, so I'll go through I'll just calculate the yearly.
She puts on the glasses
cost, because some of them are monthly, some of them are quarterly. There's so many. So I'm gonna rapid fire.
Hey,
that's how much it costs.
Who here thinks that number is too high?
It costs a grip.
Raise your hand.
It costs a grip. A little
too high. Who here thinks that number's too low?
It costs a grip.
Who here thinks that number too low?
Through context, that was just the upkeep of her face.
Just having a girl dating a girl who's really hot. It's between 74,000 and 104,000.
That's
a year.
overhead.
I date a girl all the time. It is
not that much.
Of course it is.
I'm really hot and I don't spend that.
Yeah. So the reality is, if you have genuine desire from a woman and she's a baddie, it costs you nothing. That's what happens. What she's doing is, again, it's trying to set up this whole, like, I don't know, prostitution economy where it's like women are getting men to just pay for everything, and she's trying to normalize it. That's what she's trying to do. I think it's absurd. One of the craziest things I've noticed over the last 20 years.
The price of trying to artificially inflate your sexual marketplace value is it was like 75,000.
Yeah, 75 to 104,000. Yeah,
per year.
Yeah, per year.
Jesus Christ! You want to lease a girlfriend? That's
yeah. It's absolutely. You want to know the craziest part? The thing that I think has been most damaging. It used to be an epidemic of men paying women for their time to have sex with them. Now the epidemic is men paying women for their time and not having sex with them. It is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Because I'll talk. She's pointing at me right now. I'll talk by the way, I know there's guys out here listening like, yo, that's cap. They're fucking these guys. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
I'll talk to girls who straight up tell me, I this sugar daddy, this sugar daddy, this sugar daddy. But these sugar daddies, I don't have to have sex with, and they just give me money. And the number of dudes who are doing that is growing astronomically. The only thing that is growing faster than the only economy is the simp economy. It is incredible. The number of sexless men.
That's because a lot of girls are doing it for themselves.
But Nita, like, I don't understand what you're saying.
I just feel like a lot of women are doing for themselves.
Of course they're doing it for themselves.
When you date a guy, you're not obligated to do that.
Right, but
don't text me what I'm doing when I'm at my Pilates class.
Shouldn't he be obligated to have enough self-respect to not be giving money to a woman who isn't having sex with him?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he do that? Shouldn't someone be willing to teach him that without being called it toxically masculine for saying you shouldn't?
Why are you picking up my money?
Somebody should.
Again, here we go. That's exactly my point.
Somebody should, bro.
I think if you're a dude who's simpy enough to give a girl 104 like that, I doubt she'd ever you. I seriously think that she would have no respect for you whatsoever.
She's never going for us though, you know, and I say this with love, is that for me, you know, I like money. There's no way in H-E-L-L.
Oh, you like money too?
I do. I know, Shokra. No way in hell I would ask a guy to pay for my beauty treatments ever.
No.
And I saw this thing on a meme the other day saying, oh, if a guy pays for dinner, he's whinging at me like being a girl who's paying for dinner. What does he understand? How I've done all these beauty treatments to be at the dinner? If you want to look nice for the dinner, that's on you.
Yeah. I put makeup on. I did my hair. I look nice. I got a new dress just to see you. Yeah. Like, at least you can do is pay for dinner.
No.
You're obligated.
For sure, but paying for dinner. But we had on the last episode, this one girl, she was my pre-date, like you have to do a pre-date investment in order to go out with her.
Embarrassing though.
I mean, but it's not about. Hold on, no one has any shame. We voted a man into the White House who fucked a porn star while his wife was pregnant. No one gives a shit anymore.
I'm not
there's no shame.
You and
there's no shame in like the idea that like anyone has girls coming out and straight up saying you need to pay me money to go on a date. That was something in the 1950s you would have been shamed for. No one gives a shit. This is how you go viral on TikTok by saying that now. Yeah. There is no incentive for women whatsoever to have any sort of discourse to show any level of like morals. There's none. Yeah. And by the way, some women choose of their own accord to be moral, and many choose not to. But my point is, when you choose not to show morality, when you sit there and go on TikTok and get millions of views for talking about how much you embarrass men, you get lauded for it. You make money for that. Now, if I did the same thing with women, I would lose my TikTok. Go ahead, Laura. You're going to say?
Just if you are inviting me to dinner, then yeah, you're inviting me. So you can pay for it.
No, that's fine because that's an experience for us together.
I hope you love it because I washed my hair for this. Just for
this?
For this.
I'll put in my invoice after this for my beauty
exactly. So we're dating now, huh? Is that correct? Okay. Got it. I appreciate
Well, what was the paradigm that set up the expectation for a man to pay in the first place?
Well, it's always back in the day, it was you're supposed to court a woman.
Right.
Also, women couldn't have bank accounts until the 1960s. So how are you supposed
Something also
to
started in the 1960s.
I feel like there was more. Like here's the. I feel like before, right? If you follow these steps, your outcome was secure. Right? If you did this by the book,
for the man in his career and for the man and his wife, you're correct.
Yeah.
That used to be a deal that you had back in, say, up to the 1950s,
Correct.
up until the birth control. That's absolutely correct. Yeah.
So before it was like, okay, if I stay a virgin, if I do things by the book, then my guarantee is that I'm going to have a husband that cannot divorce me, that's going to take care of me, yada, 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 whatever the saying nowadays or back in the day. As of right now, I mean, I don't agree with it right now because honestly, I'm showing up here with helmet hair and looking like I could call your manager with this look, but it's like, you're not expecting.
She's the Venezuelan Karen.
Don't tell anybody.
Catarina.
Karin. Before there was if you follow the steps, right, the outcome, you had a secure outcome. Right now, marriage, having kids, doing the things by the book does not guarantee you a safe outcome. And that's the thing. I don't agree with like, if you want to go on a date, like, yeah, if you invite me, you have to pay for the date, but I'm not going to come out here and be like, I had to do my hair and do my nails and I expected to do that because like, okay. And if I don't, I'm going to tell you ahead of time and be like, hey, I'm going to look like Dora the Explorer looking for like the meaning of life, you know, like it's going to be a little weird, but if you move fast, you can't see it, you know? So it's like, you're not expected to pay for my beauty treatments. You are expected to pay for the dinner that you invited me to.
Just make sure you have your own money when you get invited. Because
I think we can all agree to that part. It's like, hey, you know, if I invited you to dinner, but it's the same thing. If it's a business dinner and I want to propose a deal to you, I'm going to pay for dinner. That's fine. I don't think anybody's disagreeing with that. The issue is this woman is sitting there letting you know, all of you men know, hey, listen, you guys, I know you all want to date hot women. That's why you guys are all addicted to pornography. You're watching all these hot, attractive women and you're looking at them on social media. So here's the thing. You want to date these hot women? Prepare yourself to give her 100,000, give her 8,000 a month in order for you to date her. Prepare yourself mentally for that. Meanwhile, guys like me are like, what the fuck are you talking about? I would never.
But also, also because we get the guys that, and you hear from the other side, right? It's like, yeah, you know, nothing. I just closed a $30,000 deal, and you know, me and the boys are going and gambling. You know, like you're talking about numbers. I lost you like 5 seconds ago, but they're like, yeah, the boys, and then it was like the deal, and we're closing this, and we're doing this, and it's, you know, it's only from the top. It's like, okay, if you're willing to come over here and tell me that you gamble your life away, and you and your boys are closing this amazing deals, right? Then don't come over here and complain that a girl that like that, because you're just,
that's not.
You found a match.
Agreed. If a guy's game is so weak that he has to lead with money, agreed. I totally agree with you. But that's, I mean, that's not really the point of this. The point of this is that what she was saying is absurd.